Welcome to Where They Wander. We are Kat and Kev and we travel full time around the United States in our Grand Design Imagine. With one final look at the mountains, we left Gross Venture Campground in the Grand Tetons and headed through Jackson, which we didn't visit this time, but stay tuned. In a few weeks, we come back this way to visit Yellowstone, and we do actually go into Jackson.
We just had a bit of a run up a hill, didn't we? The route out of the Grand Tetons from Jackson is through Teton Pass.
10% grade, foot to the floor, second gear, 20 mile an hour. That's all she'd do. But she did great. I mean, she did great. And then on the way down, just shuddering like crazy. We need to get our brakes fixed.
So how'd that make you feel, Kat?
It was very, very nerve-wracking. It's our first full day in Montana. We are at the Lewis and Clark State Park campground, and today we are going to take you into the Lewis and Clark Caverns.
We are getting ready to go on an adventure to the Lewis and Clark Caverns. There we go. Let's have a look around here. We've got gift shop over here. And Kat's reading this about the Historic Register of Places.
The core of discovery was the Lewis and Clark troop that Jefferson sent out to find the headwaters of the Missouri and then cross the Continental Divide and make it to the Pacific Ocean. What makes this the Lewis and Clark Caverns? They didn't stay in these caverns, they were never in these caverns that we know of, but they did come through this area and stayed in this area. They hunted elk and bighorn sheep, which sadly are no longer here. They're extinct in this area. There are two different tours. There's the Paradise Tour, which is shorter, has less elevation gain, and you don't see all of the caves. Or you can go, what we're doing is the Classic Tour. There's a lot more elevation gain, it's a lot longer, and takes about 2 hours, and you see all the caves. We had the introduction, basically stay on the trail, carry water, there's no restrooms, don't disturb the bats, and don't use flash photography inside the cave. And we're excited. It's about a 3/4 of a mile hike up to the cave. We're at elevation, so don't have an awful lot of breath.
My stick's out because they're going uphill. So.
It's a paved trail. It's not difficult, but it is quite steep.
There's Kat walking up the trail. Actually, she stopped now.
There's about 25 people on each hike. The tour takes 2 hours, and we're on the Classic Tour, which is the full hike. This is the spot that Lewis and Clark actually camped on their expedition. They had run out of meat at this point. They hadn't seen any large game in days. Lewis and Clark were able to separately shoot an elk in the valley and a bighorn sheep over there where you can see the river. But he lamented that he couldn't get his men to ration the meat when they had it, and then they complained that it didn't last long enough. So that's one thing that they struggled with the entire time on their incredible expedition, was finding enough food.
We've made it to the entrance of the cave.
Any other guesses on how it got named or who first discovered this? It's a silver bullet, actually, isn't it? How did you know that? I read the plaque. Oh, you read the plaque? Okay.
Okay guys, this is the baths right here. Caves were discovered in 1898 by deer hunters. In 1901, a local quarryman made them into a tourist attraction, and he built 500 wooden steps leading down into these caves. Early tour guides were done with ropes and lanterns and were very primitive. In 1908, this was designated a national monument, but still the caves were really not very accessible. It wasn't until 1935 when the Civilian Conservation Corps did their work to make these into an accessible visitor attraction for Montana.
Scooching.
very, 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 very narrow. It's about 2 feet here.
Ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things in life that make me feel alive. Love, love, little things. Love, love, little things.
We don't have to know where we're gonna go. It could be more exciting if we don't. Throw out all the maps, we can make a path all on our own. Straight between the wildflowers that grow like us. No, we can't stand still when we're moving uphill and the peak is shrouded. I'm afraid that we can't go back. No, we're never going back. I don't mind if we get lost.
Here's the crystal pool. Oh my goodness. Crystal pool was pretty cool, huh?
It was so clear, you could hardly even tell it was there until you looked right, at it. There was no ripples in the water.
Right? It had kind of like a green color because people used to throw pennies in it. I'm sure it was called a wishing pool at one point. Here we go, almost out, I think. Oh, we've certainly lost everybody, so that's kind of cool. How many days did that guy get stuck in here? 54 days? Oh, wow.
So we can't stand still 'cause we're moving uphill and the peak is shrouded. I'm afraid that we can't go back. No, we're never going back.
Oh, this is the room.
So this is the room you're not supposed to see on this tour, because of course, it's us, so we did. But he did it too, so there you go. You don't get to see this room. Oh, don't we now?
You don't get to see that room.
Unmistakable the way that I feel inside. If I'm gonna be lost, I wanna be lost with you. Oh, I wanna be
Nothing like spending the afternoon fording the Jefferson River. It's not very deep, it's only about waist deep all the way across, but it's got a bit of a mighty current to it, so it takes some maneuvering to get over here, but we're on this little island. On the island. Puppies have had a blast. It's amazing. We really hope you've enjoyed this tour of the caverns. It was a great stop for us and one we really weren't expecting. Join us next week as we've made our way to Glacier National Park. Until then, we'll see you on the trails.